Yeah.
And how long is it going to occur for every three against each other?
This is Outlook again?
Yeah, fucking terrifying.
Wait, you're
No. Well, hopefully the sound is fine.
Alrighty, so.
We'll see if there's sound. If not, we'll figure it out next week. Well, that's not good. I mean, you could probably sit. We might be a little short. We don't have another.
I just sit right here and extend my torso.
Oh, that really did not do what it was supposed to do.
I call this meeting to order. Are there any students to speak out this evening? Hi, okay, so before you speak, please give us your name, major, year, and you have 2 minutes to speak, and from behind you, can you raise your hand? Okay, you'll get like a little, you got like 30 seconds left, and then you'll know the end of your 2 minutes is coming up, and that's just so that we can remember. So please.
I'm Olivia Kaiser. I am a business major at Orange Memorial College, and I'm a freshman. Hello, Student Center. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. On April 4th, the Women's Affairs Commission tabled at Baker Center to give out safe stops to women on campus. This bag included condoms, dental dams, food, and abortion pill information. Our tuition is being used to pay for these items, and me and my circle of peers are staunchly against this. I'm against this because we're not only providing one option to women, and that is contraception and abortion. You're not giving women the ability to make an educated choice about their reproductive health, and I want to condemn both the idea that women have one track and are seeking pregnancy resources, as well as my money going to supporting the sex lives of other students. The abortion pill is also dangerous and a side excuse for caring for and empowering women. 24 women have been killed by the abortion pill since its legalization, and thousands have been injured, and you are providing women with this as their sole option to go take in their door or a private bathroom alone and distressed. This is the choice you're presenting in order to have safe sex, and it is offensive that this is the best we can do to support our sexually active and offended students. You gave no information about students' Title IX rights and that prohibits discrimination against parents and students, OU's pregnancy accommodations, adoption agency resources, local OBGYNs, or the Athens Springs Resource Center, among other government programs that are put in place to help pregnant women who want to keep their baby. There should also be information about STI risk testing and the fact that abstinence until marriage is only foolproof way to prevent pregnancy and STIs. If there's ever another event like this held by the Women's Affairs Commission, I am urging you to provide more holistic and comprehensive resources like the ones I listed above that actually help women know their options so they can make an educated choice, not prescribe them risky sex lives and abortion as their only option. As women, we must empower each other and provide each other with truly holistic information about safe sex and its consequences.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other students to speak out this evening? Same. Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, my name is Olivia Barnes. I'm a freshman, also in the HSC business program. So thank you for your time. I'm here also to talk about the choice of the Student Senate to buy and distribute the safer stacks this past Monday. First, I would like to question why this decision was made. How is it the role of the student government to give out lube? How is it the role of the student government to hand out dental dams? Is the promotion of sexual behavior the job of this government? And why would you feel the need to pass out info cards about Plan C and the abortion pill? I object to this misuse of the student government funding, which students like me are helping to pay for. Second, would it be fair to say that given that the Student Senate chose to hand out abortion information, that your organization subscribes to pro-choice values? If you're really pro-choice, I ask why all of your choices are not equally represented. If you believe in the ability of a woman to make the best choice for herself, why not provide information about OU parental accommodations? You could hand out information about pregnancy, financial assistance, local OBGYNs, free ultrasounds, and adoption agencies. What you have done is make pregnant women feel as though there's only one choice, abortion. In reality, there are thousands of organizations and people willing and ready to support women through their pregnancy and through their parenthood. The message that you are sending to women is that she is alone. It is irresponsible of you to promote only one option, making pregnant women feel trapped. This message is false. No woman has to stand alone. Women are stronger and more capable than your one option leads them to believe. There are many pregnancy resources like these that if in the future we'd like to hand out more holistic care options, I would encourage you to promote. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any other students to speak out this evening? All right, and we'll move on. Does the body have any announcements this evening?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna just say this on behalf of Soren before I have to leave today. Okay. Hey Senate, this is Soren being channeled for our dear Emily while I'm in COVID isolation. I hope all of you are healthy and well. For those of you distancing yourselves from elections, you may not have noticed some of the hostility between candidates, all of whom are already involved in the Senate. The panel had received multiple complaints about posting yik-yak and unprofessional acts in person. We are all adults. Please be respectful of one another. Some information that was private to Senate relations and proceedings has been revealed. If you have issues with one another, kindly handle them interpersonally. If you are uncomfortable or think an RMP violation may have occurred, refer them and a panel will oversee the issue. Referrals should be your last resort. We have also received complaints over recent allegations made against Treasurer Robinson. The panel has followed all procedures in the RMP and Treasurer Robinson will continue her candidacy and role in Senate. If you have any concerns, you may reach out to the panel or myself personally. That's the end of the announcement.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements to the body?
Softball beat Ohio State last night for the first time in 5 years.
That's amazing. All right. All right, so it is my pleasure to invite our big three tonight. First up, we have our Black Student Cultural Programming Board.
Hi, everybody. My name is Demi Ward. I serve as the new president for the Black Student Cultural Programming Board. We just went into new positions last week, so I previously served as treasurer for the previous school year.
Hi, my name is Josh Coffey. I used to be the co-director of Cultural and Educational Arts, and I'm now the co-vice president of the Black Student Culture Programming Board.
My name is Jared Burton. I was the co-cultural and educational arts director. I am now one of the co-vice presidents.
So a little back history about our organization, if you guys are not familiar. The Black Student Cultural Programming Board was founded in the late 1970s. We strive in providing cultural, social, and recreational programming for the student body. Our goal is to serve as a resource for the empowerment of cultural programming here at Ohio University. So for our agenda today, we are going to go through the organizational overview, some of our big powered programmings, our collaboration, and our collaboration expansion. Our motto is empowerment through cultural awareness. So our focal point is that BSCPB will increase organizational efficiency by building lasting, meaningful, and symbiotic relationships at Ohio and beyond. And then our intentional connections is the international community and the Ohio Black alumni. We also have a systematic feedback system. So at our general body, it allows for our general body members to provide constructive feedback directly after every program. We have offered tabling where students can express their reaction to programs, and then we also have social media reactions. And then these are some of our power programming that I will pass on to my colleague.
Okay, so one of the first events we had for this year, it was the Blackburn Spencer Scholarship Pageant. It was located in Baker Ballroom, October 8th, 2022. Cost was about $9,953.57, about 200 attendees. And the Blackburn Spencer pageant, the motto is pretty much students helping students. So we have the participants of the pageant link up with one of the organizations, and they sponsor them, and they also raise money through different fundraisers before the show happens, and that all goes towards the scholarship, collaborations with student organizations as well as Greek organizations as well. And instead of king and queen, this year we decided to do pageant royalty for a more inclusive approach and things like that. So it was a great event. As you can see, we have our winners right here, all of our winners right here as well. Yeah, it was a great event. And we had our Black Alumni Reunion Weekend variety show and send-off. So every 4 years we have Black Alumni Reunion. All the Black alumni come down. We have different events going on, and this was the talent show. We had different performers come in and everything like that. So it was in Mid-Mod. Cost was about $1,088.41. About 100 attendees. It was kind of open to everybody to just come in and watch the performances. So, and we had our Hispanic Heritage Month, and that was a collab with the Latino Student Union. We had food, games, dancing, all those things located in the MCC. Cost was about $821.25. About 50 attendees, and yeah. And we had our screening for the new Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Great turnout. We had free popcorn for everybody who came out. People spread out in 3 different theaters. Great event in the Athena. Cost was about $1,000 and over 520 attendees. So it was great. And we had our pre-Kwanzaa event located in the Baker Ballroom. If you don't know, Kwanzaa is pretty much an African-American holiday that reinforces 7 values of the African culture. It goes from December 26th to January 1st. We had the cost was about $2,135.51, and about 40 attendees. And we had our Apollo night. It's based off the show. It's a talent show where the audience reacts. That was a great turnout as well. It was the day before the Civic Weekend actual show, so it was a nice little warm up. The cost didn't have any cost, just rented out Baker Theater, and about 80 attendees. Great crowd.
So I will get into the Civs Weekend concert for you because I know that is an intimidating number. So it is held in Mid-Mod, the Templeton Blackburn Alumni Memorial. So that cost us about $53,368.77. But included in these fees were the artists that we paid for, the opening DJ. We also, so when we go into contract with an artist, they provide us with a rider, which is everything written in their contract that we have to be provided for them. So that might be like water, they might want towels, just anything that they want, we have to provide it because it's written in their contract. We also, this year was our first year collabing with UCM for paid promotion, and that went really well. We got a lot of ticket sales off of that. This was also the first year that we opened it up to the public. So we had a lot of people from Columbus, Ohio State University, Toledo State, and just neighboring cities around here that came down. We also did tabling for this event. We paid OU money to promote us on their different social media accounts and things like that. We had a very, very good turnout for this event. We had about 800 attendees, which is very, very good, especially for a concert in Mid-Mod. A lot of people were very excited. We put in a lot of work to make this event possible. And then we also got to meet the artists, and then there's some lovely pictures of crowd interaction for that.
So last weekend on Saturday, we had our annual Moms Weekend Expo. It was at the MCC in the second floor of Baker and the atrium. The cost was $8,517, and the attendance was 350 people, which is actually the biggest attendance we ever had for a Moms Weekend Expo ever. So at that program, there was a sip and paint, a massage, line dancing, photo booth, and we had a DJ as well. And we also gave away shirts, gift bags, and raffle prizes as well. And then these are just a bunch of pictures from our GB meetings. Our GBs are every Wednesday in the MCC at 6 o'clock. And the themes are usually based on what's going on in the campus community or what the students at Ohio University want to do as well. And then these are a list of sponsorships for programs we did at Ohio University. And then these are the list of general body meetings we've had here at Ohio University and programs we've had overall. And then the upcoming list on the next slide are a bunch of different student organizations or Greek organizations that we've collabed with throughout the school year.
And then for our up next, this is, like I just stated, we bought in a new keyboard last week. So we have not really came up with everything we want to do up next. This is just like a general list. So we have a few Civics Weekend artists that we're thinking of. I also want to make the artists more, for the people. So I am thinking about implementing a time for people to suggest who they want to see. We're thinking about what we want to, not thinking about, bring back the Unity Fest. The Unity Fest has not been held since pre-COVID times, and it's a festival for all the multicultural students to throw together. It's usually held in the spring semester, and we usually bring down a comedian, maybe have a cookout, and have field day games. So something I'm definitely looking into bringing back. Another event is KS for Kwanzaa. It's before our pre-Kwanzaa event, and it's when we partner with one of the local Athens community elementary schools, and we bring them on campus, just for a day of fun, and we have different things for them to do as well. And then we would like to bring in a Black History Month guest speaker this year in February as well. And that's all we have. Thank you guys for listening, and yeah.
Can you guys stay down just for 5 minutes of questions? Yeah, just 5 minutes. All right, if there's any questions for the SAPB. Yes.
My body message. Yes.
I know that we actually weeks ago did the collaboration with you at Town Hall. I think that maybe like a different type of event steered more towards programming, because I know like a town hall is a very nice event, but it's not really, what we have done in the past. We usually used to throw bigger programming events. So maybe in the future, next year, we can collab and throw, programming event for the students. I think that would be very fun.
Is your programming only targeted towards Black students or is it open to all students?
No, our programming is open to anyone that wants to come. If you ever see an event hosted by us or any of the multicultural student organizations for that matter, it is open to everyone. It is inclusive to everyone. Everyone come out.
So I would like to just so I've worked all of these events. I work with the security contractor that does all of the security for major events like this. And I worked both the concert and also the Black Alumni student reunion. There were some very major concerns raised from the employees of both the security and from the theater personnel that were there for the events. While it is common for especially the concerts for people to get more rowdy, for both of these events, there were numerous people that were vaping, standing on top of the chairs, causing damage. And again, this happens at all the concerts, but it was still pretty bad at these as well. Is there anything in the future that can be done to further, make people aware to respect the, employees, their surroundings and so forth?
Yeah, definitely. So I believe that for our end, we can enforce that because I know that when we promote, we don't necessarily enforce, no vaping, no doing this. So I think for our end, we can definitely make that known, like, respect the property. I also think with this year's concert being open to the general population, it was not just Ohio University students here, in that, like I said, this was our first year doing that. So I feel like that's just something that we need to, learn from and build off of because it was our first time doing it. But I am thankful that you brought that to my attention because I was not aware of that. But like I stated, I am newly in president now, so I will put that in my head so that I can make sure that for next year's concert, that's not a concern that you have to worry about.
Any other questions?
So concerning your Unity Fest, I'm very much interested in this. So I'm a first year, so I have never seen your Unity Fest. And I would just like to know if there will be anything done to reach out to the various, like, for example, like the various language clubs here on campus, because there's not, for example, like a German student union or something along the line, or a French club, student union, or anything of the sorts.
Yeah.
That way we can introduce further cultures. Would there be anything like that done?
Definitely. Yeah. So like I said, the Unity Fest was like a pre-COVID event. I wasn't even at OU when they used to throw it. So I am inviting all orgs to be a part of this event. I want to make it a nice event. Everybody in the university, and you said the German student.
Well, there's like, there's no like.
So
German.
specific.
Yeah, just like, I guess the various language clubs around here, because I know there's an Italian language club, there's German language club, French language club, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Because there's, I believe, we offer like over like 20 languages here.
Yeah, of course.
Has a club.
Yeah, and like I said, none of our events, none of our sponsor anything is not inclusive to just the Black and multicultural community. So if you ever want to do any collabs or anything, reach out to me. I want to actually expand our collaborations this year. So I will be looking for organizations that we may not have collaborated with in the past or have and have not in a while. So that's definitely something that I will have on my radar.
And this is on a personal note, I'm part of many of those language clubs, so if you'd like any help, please reach out.
What's your name?
Dan Guardillo.
Dan?
Environmental Affairs Commissioner. Dan Guardillo.
Nice to meet you, Dan. I'm Demi.
Any other questions for BSCB? Well, thank you. And
Thank you.
for all your-
Thank you.
Okay, next we have our University Programming Council.
Hello. Introduce ourselves. I'm Claire. I'm the vice and Fundell. I am this year's events vice chair, and then next year's.
Then I'm Luke. I am this year's University Events main chair as well as our treasurer.
How we spent our budget this year, and kind of the breakdown of the different departments and what we spent. So we had our welcome week. We spent around $15,400 on it for 3 events. We had our petting zoo. The first part of the week, then we had our comedy show featuring Luke Null, actually an OU alumni, and we had our drag show featuring Sakina from Drag Race. Both of those 2 events were max capacity, so we have a good turnout. And we also have our flavor of the week, which is held every week. This data is considering all flavors into last week. So we average our attendance to about 140 a week. Our average spend per week is around 463, and our average cost per student is $3.30.
So for our university events, total, we spent about $4,700. That includes our parents' brunch, which costed $550, our dad's casino royale, which costed $3,350, our SIPS weekend events, which costed $350 total, and our mom's paint sip, which costed $450. Our greatest attendance was our mom's paint sip, but I was pretty happy with the turnout for these, especially considering the weather. For creative events, our total was $55,000, which that includes our Floorline movie night for $300, our T-Stress event for $3,000, our bachelor night with Ben Higgins for $12,000, and our TBT concert featuring Matt Bennett for $24,500. We also had a drag show with No Heart, which costed $12,000, and then next Thursday we'll have our Anything Airbrush event. So if you would like to come to that event, our attendance is TBA for that. And our associate event, which is tomorrow, is a puzzle night, and it was $1,300. We also had additional expenses, such as our donation to VSCPB's Soul Food Dinner, and then we also spent $900 for office supplies, and we went to the National Association for Campus Activities Conference, which we basically went and connected with a bunch of vendors that we can bring to OU for students, and we also learned like how to incorporate better event planning into our program for next year. That was $400. For our collaborations, we collaborated with a bunch of people this year. We plan to collaborate with more people next year because we didn't have as many collaborations as we hoped, but we had the Soul Food Dinner, we had the HRL and UPC Drag Show, we had the Pride Week Drag Show with the LGBT Center, Express Health, Student Senate, and Tesora. We also gave food for Town Hall for the Student Senate. We donated paint supplies for VSCPB. We did done raffle tickets and tables with the Pepsi Leadership Program. And every single Monday we have How-To Mondays with the Campus Involvement Center.
So comparing some of our costs from the 2021 school year, 2021-22 to the 2023, we dramatically decreased our spending on our TBT concert when we had Ali and AJ here in the spring 2022. That event cost about $60,000, whereas this year we reduced our spending closer to $25,000. A big part of this was reducing production costs in it, not having like fully built staging or lights and stuff, as well as the talent costs as well. On the flip side, over the past 4 semesters, we had to increase our flavor budget as food has increased in price and inflation. We started out with $350 and now it's at $500. In an effort to provide more funding for like flavor and other things, we reduced our family weekend budgets by reducing the prizes and giveaways that we were giving out. So some projections for next year we'd like to do. This is based on a $120,000 budget, and we'll break it down through the next couple slides with potential programming ideas. So for Welcome Week, we're hoping to spend around $20,000 for this one. We're in the beginning stages of working with other partners to help reduce the cost as well as provide more programming. Some potential programming ideas would be having a petting zoo again, having a drag show, as well as having some sort of like comedian or magician come in. Our flavor of the week budget, we would like to increase that to about $17,500 for the year. Based on having 28 flavors, that's around $625. While $500 does usually be a large chunk of people, with that event, we're really not able to provide any meat products for anyone, and that does drastically limit the amount of food we can serve, as that does cost substantially more. So by increasing this budget, we're not only going to get more food, but we also be able to provide a wider range of food as well. Our associates, we have them planning an event each year as well. So we plan to have this around $2,000 next year. Ads and merchandising, definitely something we learned this year as well as at NACA when we were there, was the importance of advertising with it. So for things like printing, that we estimate to be like $1,000. Something new we want to try doing is texting software, as well as Snapchat and Instagram ads, as well as other things. So creative events, this is the largest chunk of our budget. It's on the left-hand slide through the download process. The arrows got a little messed up. But we are estimating about $30,000 for our concert next year, but booking fees are always increasing due to inflation as well as the cost of the artists. We want to have some sort of a Halloween event to provide a safer alternative for students. Our celebrity Q&A, with that, we're wanting to rebrand our bachelor event to a more relevant show, a celebrity. We would like to get one of our cultural events on campus. Step of Flesh, that was kind of like our de-stress event that we have this year. And then just some like other performers, like comedian magicians that are lighthearted fun for students across campus. Our university events budget, we're planning about like $10,000 for that one, as we would like to implement bigger programming for those weekends again. Questions?
Thank you. All right, we'll take some questions for you, DC now. That's perfect.
Is the $120,000 based off of money that will be allocated out of the SAC fund?
Partially, we have a little bit of money left that we're going to be allocating towards Welcome Week costs next year. But yeah, those kind of like our dream ideal budget.
Any other questions?
I'd just like to know how each of you got involved with UPC and how's the experience been?
So I went to a lot of the Welcome Week programs in my freshman year. I went to Coco Montreat. The drag show was like, wow, that sounds really fun to be a part of. So I joined it, and I've had a really great time. I've gotten a lot of experience doing leadership, and a lot of doors were open for me being involved.
I had a bit of a different experience. I didn't know what UPC was until my spring semester of last year, which was my freshman spring semester. My neighbor right across from me, Zion, she said it's no longer here, hopefully she'll come back. But she was a part of it, and I was like, I want to get more involved in things on campus. I'm going to come with you to your meeting, your club meeting. And so I went, and I was like, okay, this seems like fun. I'll stay with it. And then I just continued to go up to meetings, and then all the fun events like the TVP last year with Allie and AJ, which was a lot of fun. And it's opened up a bunch of opportunities to meeting people, getting involved on campus. And I feel like if I didn't go to that original meeting, I probably would still be sitting in my dorm each day. So it got me out.
For me, Solidify, it was the various welcome weeks that they had done then. One of the big ones was the show of Coco Montreat, so showing that, and going to the meetings. So being there, the members in UPC last year, they were really welcoming and inviting us in. And like the others, it really has been a great experience. I've learned a lot. I've done many things that I never thought I'd do in my life. Like we work with managers to book the talent, doing the paperwork and behind the scenes work. So learning about that has been cool, and like in a roundabout way, like helped me in my career in the future.
Any other questions? I have a question. How do you decide the flavor of the week?
Ideas are thrown out, and some are poor, some are really good. Then we think of a theme, and then we have to figure out what food we want, and then we figure out that it doesn't work.
You have to talk on top with the catering a lot.
Yeah.
Figure out that with the menu.
Also, sometimes we're just hungry for baked potatoes.
Then with that, we try to take into account like more popular outlets, just like gluten-free, dairy-free, vegetarian and stuff like that.
I've always wanted to know that. All right, if that's it, thank you so much, UPC.
Feel free to check us out on Instagram. That's where we post about all of our events. We are also hoping to get like more like student participation, to get feedback from events, as well as like maybe taking polls on like what movies we show or something like that. So thank you for your time.
So before we move on to roll call, ISU, which is our International Student Union, their presentation and budget will be presented next week in the minutes. They couldn't come today. All right. I'll say it. Okay, well, Vice President, please call roll.
Hi, everyone. I'm stepping in for Molly for at least the first half of the meeting, so bear with me as I call roll for the first time. President Shoulders.
Present.
Treasurer Robinson.
Present.
Commissioner DeMonte.
Present.
Senator Handel. Senator Cord. Senator Phelps.
Present.
Senator Thomas. Commissioner Barganer.
Present.
Senator McMullen.
Present.
Commissioner Hibbs.
Present.
Commissioner Godillo.
Present.
Senator Lopez.
Present.
Senator Bacasio.
Present.
Senator Elsa Loudly. Commissioner Parker. Senator Lightning. Senator Morris.
Present.
Senator Irinde. Commissioner Zarbar. Senator Robinson. Commissioner Lewis.
Present.
Senator Tandon. Senator Farmer.
Present.
Senator Davis.
Present.
Commissioner Handel. Senator Spinner Smith. Senator Huntsman. Senator Wolf. Commissioner Ajay. And Clerk of Court, I don't know your last name, I'm so sorry. Green.
Present.
We have quorum.
Thank you. All right. Is there any discussion on the previous meeting minutes? Are there any objections to approving the previous meeting minutes? All right, seeing none, minutes are approved. All right.
We have 3 additions.
Okay. All right, we have 3 additions today. We have to move to put them on the agenda. So.
Move. Sorry, I didn't know if you were looking for a motion.
Okay, we have Senate Resolution, I can't even, 2223-118.
Resolution to purchase members of Merit High Schools.
Resolution to purchase members of the Merit High Schools. Is there any discussion on the addition to this agenda?
Move to vote.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to add Senate Resolution 2223-118 to the agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Okay, will be added to the agenda. I don't think I did that. Next thing. Okay. So we've also have Senate Resolution 2223-119,
A resolution to purchase office supplies.
a resolution to purchase office supplies. Is there just any discussion on this agenda, addition to the agenda?
Move to vote.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to vote to add Senate Resolution 2223-119 to the agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Okay, will be added to the agenda. Lastly, we have Senate Resolution 2223-120,
A resolution to purchase office goods.
a resolution to purchase office goods. Any discussion on this resolution?
Move to vote.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to vote to add Senate Resolution 2223-120 to the agenda tonight. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, it's added to the agenda. Okay, there's no old business. Okay. First up tonight, we have Senate Resolution 2223-112, a resolution to appoint an Environmental Affairs Vice Commissioner to the Student Senate. Whereas there is a Student Senate at Ohio University, and whereas the rules and procedures states that there shall be an Environmental Affairs Commission within the Student Senate, and whereas there is currently a vacancy in the Environmental Affairs Vice Commissioner position, and whereas applications were solicited and interviews conducted, be it resolved that Cynthia Jamison be appointed as Environmental Affairs Vice Commissioner for the 2022-2023 academic school year, and be it further resolved that this appointment be effective immediately following the adjournment of this meeting. Primary sponsor, Mr. Caden Hibbs.
Yeah, we met with Cynthia. I loved her overall passion about environmental issues overall. She also has a background with some business analytics, which I think will be very helpful for our commission. And I'm excited to see how she can contribute the final month this semester. And we're happy to have her on board.
Thank you. Do you reserve your time?
Yes.
Secondary sponsor, Ms. Polly Huntington.
Molly had the distinct pleasure of interviewing Cynthia. She's a very passionate and driven young woman who has a lot of great programming and policy ideas for the Environmental Affairs Commission. Even though she is getting sworn in with just a few weeks left, I have great faith that Molly has great faith that she'll be able to accomplish some great things, and Molly reserves the balance of her time.
Is there any discussion on this resolution?
Move to vote.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to vote on Senate Resolution 2223-112. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstention? Resolution passes. Next, we have Senate Resolution 2223-113, a resolution to add vice commissioners in Chapter 7 of the Rules and Procedures. Whereas there is a Student Senate at Ohio University, and whereas the Senate is governed by the rules and procedures, and whereas the judicial panel is tasked with supplying interpretations of the rules and procedures when necessary, and whereas Chapter 7, Commissions of the Senate, of the rules and procedures includes descriptions of commissions and the members involved, and whereas the Academic Affairs Commission, Black Student Affairs Commission, International Commission, LGBTQA+ Affairs Commission, Off-Campus Affairs Commission, Residence Life Commission, and University Life Commission, the Vice Commissioner role is not mentioned. And whereas the Vice Commissioner is mentioned in the other commissioners within Chapter 7 of the Rules and Procedures. And whereas there should be consistency within Senate's governing document, so be it resolved that Chapter 7 is amended in the Rules and Procedures to reflect this change, as shown in Appendix A. Primary sponsor, Ms. Nathaniel Padilla.
Hi, everyone. I know you can hear me. Lavina over the summer, or Vice President Cooley over the summer went through our roster and realized that there was some things that were missing, and we just wanted to add a bit more consistency. So through conversations with the leadership team, we felt that this was the best possible route. We just kind of also agreed to change the tonight. So that turns out.
Thank you. Secondary sponsor, Ms. Lavina Cooley.
Yes, as graduate assistant Padilla mentioned, I spent a lot of time going through the rules and procedures this summer. I found that many of our commissions lacked a vice commissioner per the RNP, although this did not align with the internal holdings of what we thought each commission would have. And having each commission have a vice commissioner just levels the playing field, make sure that everybody has the support that they need, and also gives more people an opportunity to be a part of Senate in different ways. And with that, I reserve the balance of my time.
Is there any discussion on this resolution? Yes. Yes, Beth.
This is more of a procedural question. Whenever you guys are changing the rules and procedures of the Senate, do those require a 2/3 majority or just a simple majority?
Senate majority.
Mm-hmm.
Move to vote.
It's been moved and seconded to vote on Senate Resolution 2223-113. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Resolution passes. Senate Resolution 2223-114, a resolution to revise positions in Chapter 3 of the Rules and Procedures. Whereas there is a student senate at Ohio University, and whereas the Senate is governed by the rules and procedures, and whereas the judicial panel is tasked with supplying interpretations of the rules and procedures when necessary, and whereas Chapter 3, executive staff positions and duties of the rules and procedures includes descriptions of the roles of the executive staff, and whereas throughout the years, the roles and expectations for these staff have changed, and whereas the role of Director of University Relations is now obsolete, and whereas supervising interns is now the responsibility of the graduate assistant, eliminating the need for the Director of the internship program, and whereas the Director of Community Service and Social Activities focus should be on getting Senate members out into the community rather than servicing the community, and whereas many other organizations on campus are solely dedicated to community service in the city of Athens, and whereas the executive staff has grown to need additional support, and whereas the position of Assistant Chief of Staff should be expanded to include support for other members of executive staff, and whereas the position should be renamed to Executive Staff Assistant to reflect these additional responsibilities, so be it resolved that Chapter 3 is amended in the rules and procedures to reflect this change as shown as in Appendix A. Primary sponsor, Ms. Molly Pennington.
While looking through the rules and procedures, we have found a lot of things with the executive staff that just doesn't quite make sense. The Director of University Relations is, quite literally, President Schulder's job, so we don't really have a need for that position anymore. The Director of the Internship Program is similarly obsolete due to the fact that it will be moved under the GA's position. For the Director of Community Service and Social Activity, after conversations with our current Community Service and Social Activity Director, the service part can sometimes hinder us just getting out into the community. Finally, through the consistency of having an executive staff and an intern this year, we have realized that the executive staff needs more support than the Chief of Staff can sometimes provide. Making the Assistant Chief of Staff the Executive Staff Assistant allows for a historian and directors to have a helping hand whenever they need it, regardless of if we have an intern or not. And Molly reserves the balance of her time.
Secondary sponsor, Ms. Levina Cooley.
Yes, I echo everything that Chief of Staff Pennington has provided tonight. A lot of these procedural changes are just helping clarify. Obviously, if we have a Director of University Relations, it doesn't make sense because they don't really have anything to do. The internship program is under the graduate assistant now, and therefore they don't have anything to do either. And really, the executive staff really just needs a lot of assistance, especially because the Chief of Staff is busy doing so much as far as providing support to the leadership team, as far as ensuring that things are sent out in a timely manner to the body and that all of the meeting minutes are organized. And I can tell you, doing her job right now, it's not easy or fun. But with that, I reserve the balance of my time.
Is there any discussion on this resolution?
Move to vote.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to vote on Senate Resolution 2223-114. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Resolution passes. Next up, Senate Resolution 2223-115, a resolution to amend the rules and procedures to add Senator of Accessibility and Accommodation to the Minority Student Affairs Commission. Whereas the judicial panel is tasked with supplying interpretations of the rules and procedures, and whereas under the current rules and procedures, Chapter 7, Section 12, there are 3 seats for the Minority Affairs Senators within the Minority Affairs Commission. And whereas there is no position in the current rules and procedures representing accessibility and accommodation, And whereas having this role codified into rules and procedures would allow for the permanent representation of students with disabilities within the Ohio University Student Senate. Be it resolved that Chapter 7, Section 12(I) includes this position within the Minority Affairs Commission, and be it further resolved that the rules and procedures be updated to reflect this change as shown in Appendix A immediately. Primary sponsor, Mr. Reese-Moore.
Sorry, it didn't show my name there, and I was so scared for a second. So yeah, this has been my major project throughout this.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I was concerned. So this has been my major project throughout Senate thus far, and I'm very proud. Hopefully, eventually hold this position, and as well as let it continue even after me. Currently, there was no one before me representing students with disabilities, but I want to make sure that it is visible that we are an organization that does represent students with disabilities, and so this role will continue even after I no longer do so. It is a great passion of mine to be able to represent disabled students like myself. Actually, within this building, the hill right next to us is the whole reason I joined this Senate, as I had broken my foot on it and received no help with accommodation. And so I would love for students to be able to have this kind of representation in the Senate. I'm so excited to hopefully see this pass.
You reserve your time?
I reserve the balance of my time, I'm so sorry.
Take it short, your time. Secondary sponsor, Ms. Alex Parker.
So first, I would like to commend Senator Morris for his work this year with bringing issues of accessibility for our disability students to the surface. Honestly, without his help, I or the rest of our Minority Affairs Commission personally wouldn't have known about these issues, and I'm glad that with his help, we were able to combat them. With his attempt, we were able to come together this year and have these conversations and take action. I hope you vote yes for Senator Morris to have this seat continue to fight for our students with disabilities and students that are in competition. Seeing his work this year with Camp Crib and his active involvement with talking to accessibility, I believe that Senator Morris will do an amazing job for this role. Oh yes, again, and I reserve the time.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this resolution?
Megan.
Oh. I almost missed you. Okay. Thank you.
I'll discuss.
Secondary sponsor, Ms. Megan Handel.
Yeah, so the creating of this position would provide tangible support for those with disabilities on our campus. Senator Morris has worked diligently on this resolution, and while he does very good work to advocate very well for the disabled community currently, making this seat a permanent part of Senate would help to guarantee that this work would continue in the future. By sort of following how the University Life Commission, how they have senators for specific groups of people they represent, the Minority Affairs Commission would be able to guarantee that they both always know that they represent the specific community, regardless of whether our lovely Reese is here or not, and hopefully we'll always have somebody to fill this role. Additionally, as someone who has had great trouble trying to keep in contact with accessibility services and maintaining communication with them, I think this would be a great role for potentially Senator Morris and just to have for the future of Senate. And I reserve the balance of my time.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this resolution?
Yes, this is to Senator Morris. Do you feel that this position, so by making this position, I just wonder, is this, if you have most experience, is this something that is enough for one person to do? Or I'm just asking, like, how, you know, what's the scale of this operation?
So that was a concern actually brought up by, just sort of a title in here, sorry.
Chief Justice.
Chief Justice Soren Starkley had brought it up as a concern, and so then I met with JP and actually worked to convince him, which is the whole reason I have this built up here today. So they had given me the statistic that about 7% of OU students are disabled, and currently within OU, your Greek Life Center represents 10% of all students as one person. Additionally, I believe that this is the start of something great that we can work towards in the future. It has been suggested by multiple people to hopefully start some kind of committee on accessibility, and then maybe we can decide to eventually make a commission out of it, or not, depending on the workload that it creates.
General question?
That was the concern that was raised, is this better as a singular position, or is this something that should be held back and wait? And rather, is this something that we should be looking forward to create its own commission?
Currently, I am the only person doing what I do and supporting myself through it. I believe me and others would be able to do so rather effectively. I'm the only person doing what I do. I'm the first person to do it here. I fully believe that I can take on this responsibility, and if in the future, with my career incentive, I decide to change it at all, then we'll see.
Yes.
I would also add to Senator Morris's point that creating a commission is a very lengthy process. It must first become a committee, for which it must be a committee for at least a semester, if not two, 1 semester. And in order for that to happen, like, you have to have people willing to serve on that committee. Currently, Senate does not have capacity to add on another full committee like that. Do I think it is something that we should be looking into? Yes, absolutely. But it's going to be a multi-year process. I think this is a good first step in the right direction in order to help us start moving into that direction.
And I would just add to that to also build the connection with the university departments. Like, simply, you putting on Trip Camp as a commission was very helpful towards that.
And that is why we had an amazing discussion with our students as well as Housing Residence Life, and it went incredibly well, and I would love to be able to have more contact with them as well. I will continue to have that anyway, but I do hope that it's part of the official position.
I remember when you first came to Senate to just speak out, so I'm really happy about that. All right, is there any more discussion? Did I hear a motion in a second? Okay. Is it moved and seconded to vote on Senate Resolution 2223-115? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Elizabeth? Okay. Senate Resolution 2223-116, a resolution to refine and move the internship program to Chapter 1 in the Rules and Procedures. Whereas there's a student senate at Ohio University, and whereas the student senate is governed by the rules and procedures, and whereas the judicial panel is tasked with supplying interpretations of the rules and procedures when necessary. And whereas the internship program is a subset of the student senate that allows Ohio University students to get involved and learn about the behind the scenes of student senate at a low time commitment, and whereas the student senate internship program was revitalized and is no longer run by the director of the internship program, nor is it a part of the executive staff. And whereas the graduate assistant of student senate now leads the internship program, and whereas the internship program is not described in detail in Chapter 3 of the Rules and Procedures, and whereas these changes seek to clarify the requirements and the timeline of the internship program, and whereas the judicial panel met with quorum to discuss this issue, be it resolved that the rules and procedures be updated to move the internship program to Chapter 1, and be it further resolved that these changes are reflected in Appendices A, B, and C. Primary sponsor, Mix Nathaniel Padilla.
Yeah, I have worked very hard this past year to get the internship program up and running again, and it has been successful, which I really appreciate. The engagement they're doing right now is awesome. And I want it now to be a solidified thing of Student Senate, and making it something that the graduate assistant takes on. I mean, I've already worked with Chad to get it a part of the job description as well. So this is really important to me, so I want to have it here so they're reflected, and so DAs who are coming after me will able to know more about it. So there's a balance like that.
Thank you. Secondary sponsor, Miss Molly Pennington.
Yeah, so graduate assistant Padilla has done a fantastic job of managing the interns this semester. I know that it used to be under my purview to deal with the interns, but that's not something that I really, in my position, have time to take on. And there has been a historical lack of interest in the director of the internship program. So it really makes sense to have a consistently filled role, like the graduate assistant, take on this responsibility to make sure that our internship program can continue and thrive and succeed. So with that, I reserve the balance of my time.
Is there any discussion on this resolution?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to vote on Senate Resolution 2223-116. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Resolution passes. Next, we have Senate Resolution 2223-117, a resolution to appoint a College of Business senator to the Student Senate. Whereas there is a Student Senate at Ohio University, and whereas the rules and procedures state that there shall be a senator of the College of Business in the Academic Affairs Commission within the Student Senate, and whereas there is currently a vacancy in the Senator of College of Business position, and whereas applications were solicited and interviews conducted, be it resolved that Dylan Carbonaro be appointed as the Senator of the College of Business for the 2022-2023 academic year, and be it further resolved that this appointment be effective immediately following the adjournment of the meeting. Primary sponsor, Mr. Dylan DeMonte.
Yeah, Trinity and I, or Treasurer Robinson and I, had a wonderful interview with Dylan, and he has a great name. We need representation of the College of Business within Student Senate, and I know there's not a lot of time left in the semester. However, there is still plenty of time to meet with the dean and have those issues communicated that we've been working on so hard in the Academic Affairs Commission already. Also, he expressed great passion for listening to his constituents. I believe that he would be a great representative of the students of the College of Business, and he is very interested in taking into account all students' opinions across the board. And I reserve the balance of my time.
Thank you. Secondary sponsor, Ms. Trinity Robinson.
To echo everything that Commissioner DeMonte said, I really loved having the pleasure to interview Dylan, who's also up there in the light blue. He was very passionate about his current work that he's doing, not only in his fraternity, but additionally within programs that he's invested his time into within the College of Business. So I really do look forward to the connection that he will reestablish between the Senate and the administration and students within the College of Business. And I reserve the balance of my time.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this resolution?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to vote on Senate Resolution 2223-117. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Resolution passes. Senate Resolution 2223-118, a resolution to purchase member of Emeritus Dole. Whereas the Ohio University Student Senate rules and procedures requires there to be a committee of the budget, and whereas the committee on the budget met with quorum to discuss the Ohio University Student Senate budget, and whereas the committee approved the budget below, so be it resolved that the Ohio University Student Senate confirms the requested budget amount below. Item description: Dole's price $20.39 for a quantity of 10 for a total of $203.88 for a grand total of $203.88. Primary sponsor, Brady Phelps.
Yeah, I understand the Senate usually goes and the budget document that you can check out. So upon adjournment of the budget application, only records that it's met all criteria outlined for approval with that reserve balance of money.
Thank you. Secondary sponsor, Laurel Zarbaugh.
Yeah, I think it's really important to show, honor the people who have done a lot for Senate, and so it's nice for those individuals to be able to have something that they can take with them that shows that they can take that.
He was every time. Yeah. That's okay. All right, is there any discussion on this resolution? Yes.
You're gonna have to forgive me, but I don't know what a stole is. Can somebody please explain this?
Yeah, it's like when you graduate and it's like the thick one like up on your neck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's up.
yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, they're shiny. Okay. Any other discussion?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to vote on Senate Resolution 2223-118. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Resolution passes. Senate Resolution 2223-119, a resolution to purchase office supplies. Whereas the Ohio University Student Senate Rules of Procedures requires there to be a committee on the budget, and whereas the committee on the budget met with quorum to discuss the Ohio University Student Senate budget, and whereas the committee approves the budget below, and so be it resolved that the Ohio University Student Senate confirms the requested budget amount below. Item description: blue books for a price of 79 cents for a quantity of 450 for a total of $355.50. Clorox wipes 4-pack for inch count for a price of $16.62. One quantity for a total of $16.62 for a grand total of $372.12. Primary sponsor, Mr. Brady Phelps.
Yeah, a lot of students use those blue books, full resource that it has, and also the documentation checks out. So upon reviewing the budget application, the committee report says that all criteria outlined for approval. And with that, I reserve the option.
Thank you. Secondary sponsor, Trinity Robinson.
Yeah, this request is pretty straightforward. We're almost out of blue books, and the source that they're coming from is through Bobcat Buy, so it's through the university, and then the Clorox wipes. We just got to keep stuff clean, and that's from Walmart. But with that, I reserve the balance of my time.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this resolution?
What are blue books?
It's the, those like thin paper books that are required for written exams for some professors. So it's really, yeah, you don't talk about it. Any other discussion? Questions?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to vote on Senate Resolution 2223-119. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Resolution passes. Senate Resolution 2223-120, a resolution to purchase office goods. Whereas the Ohio University Student Senate Rules and Procedures requires there to be a committee on the budget, and whereas the committee on the budget met with quorum to discuss the Ohio University Student Senate budget, and whereas the committee approved the budget below, and so be it resolved that the Ohio University Student Senate confirms the requested budget amount below. Item description: Coercy electric kettle, price $44.95, one quantity for a total of $44.95. Keurig K classic single serve coffee maker with Keurig Entertainers Collection Variety Pack, 40 K-cup pods for a price of $151.32 for one quantity for a total of $151.32. Amazon Basic Coffee Pod Storage Door for K-cup pods, $20.89 for a quantity of one, for a total of $20.89. Does that say believe? Sure. 100-pack, super strong, 100% compostable coffee and tea cups for a price of $22.99. One quantity for a total of $22.99 for a grand total of $294.89. Primary sponsor, Mr. Brady Phelps.
Yeah, so this resolution is basically, I believe it's to use Senate funds to buy a coffee machine for Senate. As I understand it, after this, documentation checked out, and upon reviewing the budget application, the report that it has been all criteria outlined for approval with that, there's not much time.
Thank you. Secondary sponsor, Reese Moore.
Okay. We have so much tea in the office. We want rid of it. We have the kettle for it, so that we can actually make good use out of it. Also, the hearing, I think, is a great way to have guests, to offer them something. That way we can have them every single just an interview. And I think it would have been nice to be able to offer someone coffee. I think it's something great that we can just have in the office. We're spending long hours in there. And it's just a little something, something for us, as well as anyone who comes into the office to be able to use. I think it's a great idea. It did check too, as a concern that Molly had brought up. The store did just recently have a recall. However, the kettle was not one of the recall objects. I went through the entire list. So, yeah, Representative Baltimore.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this resolution? Yeah.
This is pretty theory, the total amount does not match all of the items added together. The amount I did is at $241.15.
If I may,
And that's $294.89.
they removed something from my budget because there was another purchase to be made for a load of K-cups that was removed. So I believe that's why the budget's not match up. If we could friendly amend that, I would really appreciate it.
Is there any comment from budget committee about that?
Maybe.
The one
I
that's
got sent from Reese directly, so if it's not on there, I don't quite know why that would be.
It may have not saved when I put it into my computer, and that's the problem, because it was one of the last things I added. So that's probably why. Still, it's good the way it is, because we still get the K-cups out of the purchase of the Keurig.
Right, and if we allocate it, it would just come back.
Yeah.
So, okay. Any other discussion?
Is this one of those like hefty Keurigs that like you have in your house? Is it
No.
a dorm Keurig?
So it's one of the more compact ones. It's built to go with the storage case as well. Very aesthetic. It'll be able to be stored very easily.
Oh, where did you,
Yes.
where did you get it from? Because I know the one I have in my dorm was only $60, so I don't know if you wanted to look for a cheaper one or if this is the exact one you wanted.
So it's one of the more modern ones. That's why that's the reason I did it. So it's like newer model, and it came with a 40-pack of cups as well, which does reduce the price.
Yeah.
So obviously, there's only 40 K-cup pads. Are we going to have to redo a budget request every single time we run out?
We brought up the idea of creating an RFP change to delegate some budget just to food that we could use. So we would be able to purchase through that. Hopefully, if we can bring that around at some point, hopefully next semester it should be easy, or we just work on it now. But that was one of the things too. However, I think we'll last us to the end of the semester. I almost guarantee it.
Yeah, it would be like a real office. Yes.
So however, per current rules, like as of today's rules, we would have to do a budget request every single time that we want more Keurig.
Unfortunately, yes. Again, I did.
Please wait to answer.
Pardon?
Please wait to answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but, go ahead. Just get out.
Before Word messed up my budget, I did have more stuff to purchase in there so that we would have more for a while, because they do last. They would last us over the summer even. They last forever. So we would have had more. That is unfortunate.
I guess we would just have to make it, you all would just make another budget request if you wanted more coffee. Yes.
This is also just something to mention for the future. I Keurig, and just something to keep in mind for the future is that you'll also need to buy the Keurig, they're like cleaner cups that you just run through it, just because you would be surprised at the amount of bacteria that builds up in these things. So that's something to also keep in mind for the future.
And are we good with discussion? Do I hear a motion?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to vote on Senate Resolution 2223-120. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Resolution passes. Oh, we're big kids now, guys. All right, commissioner reports. I know you all aren't in your like regular seat, but we're going to kind of move from this side over. Y'all know who you are.
Yeah, so we actually do have a little bit to report. Bobcat Festival has happened. It was a major success. We did see a lot of people come to this event, both students and family members of students. The one thing that we kept hearing over and over again was, I'm so glad that there is something to do that is not just drinking. So overall, I would say it was a pretty good success. All prizes were given out. We did have enough students for that. Some did try to find some sort of strategy to try to statistically win more prizes for their group. So that might be something that we have to look at for more rules on drawings in the future. But everyone enjoyed the games, and there will probably be adjustments to the food and maybe doing meals instead of snacks. It was not as popular as we had thought. But overall was a good success. And that's the uniform report.
Thank you.
So for my commission, I began work on a condemnation bill for Senate Bill 83, a bill that would affect college students and the content that they learn. I and many others see this as a breach of the First Amendment and are not happy with this. I encourage you all to look up and read Senate Bill 83. It is through the state of Ohio's legislature. Please read it so that way you will also have some sort of background when this eventually comes before. If you have any questions about this or want secondary sponsor or anything of the sort, please talk to me. Moreover, I have a meeting with Chief Reiner set up for tomorrow so we can discuss strategies to reintroduce the fire bill. I want to let you all know I have heard your concerns with that fire fee bill. I have heard your arguments and I'm working on ways I can listen to them and introduce that content into the bill so that way I can hopefully address your worries with the bill and I can eventually win your votes when it comes back to the floor. I can tell you right now, a big portion of that will most likely be a survey of students food, and I will include that data in the bill so that way you all have full on how many people support this and how many people do not support this. That was the major argument that I have heard. So that was the end of my report. Thank you.
Yeah, so we had the sustainability kickoff event on March 26th. About 41 people showed up, 10 plus stayed to become part of the executive board team. I was very happy with how it went overall, just as a start. We also had a meeting on Sunday to set up roles within our network executive board, how we want to move forward with promoting events for environmental organizations on campus in the future. I'm also having a tabling session tomorrow morning to promote the Athens Farmers Market on April 13th at Tailgate Park. And I'll also be having 2 tabling sessions in the next week for my campaign, campaign to increase public transportation on campus, which I'm just finishing up. And I'll also be getting more students to take my environmental survey. Vice Commissioner Dorayas is currently working on getting more solar panels around OU, and what will hopefully be a multi-year effort. Also, very happy to have another Vice Commissioner on board. I think Cynthia is going to do great. Currently trying to add senator seats to my commission, as well as pursue the codification of recycling laws within Student Senate. Looking ahead, we'll be participating in Earth Day celebrations, including a thrift opportunity to donate free clothes that are, it's being done through OU Recycling, so that's something we're looking forward to. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay, Take Back the Night is tomorrow at the Athena Cinema on Court Street. Doors open at 6:30, speakers start at 7, and the march will follow at 8. When the doors open, there will be resource tables from the Survivor Advocacy Program, the Survivor Advocacy Outreach Program, and My Sister's Place. I hope you're all able to be there, and nobody else on the planning committee wanted to lead the march, so you may or may not see me with a megaphone screaming. Super exciting! This past Friday, we had our first ever Women's Fest. We had an amazing time with guest performances from Megna and the Divine Feline and our keynote speech from Miss Ohio USA. We had 2 women there to present their women-centric research and had tabling from several orgs on campus, including the Maggie Bees, the Survivor Advocacy Program, the OU Sparkles, Phone Friend, and then we also have a Senate table with our Safer Sacks there. Speaking of Safer Sacks, we did tabling on them for Monday. Prior to earlier this evening, all we heard was good feedback, so it went really, really well. We distributed all of them in less than an hour and a half, even though we had 5 hours scheduled because there were 100 of them. And have already had lots of requests to do the serve tabling event again. We have info cards with a description sitting on the table, and myself, Senator Huntsman, and Senator Wolf there the entire time, along with our guest stars, Senator Robinson of the Kayla variety, and Senator Morris there to answer any questions that people might have about what's in the sacks. For those who don't know, they include a pregnancy test strip, a condom, dental dam, water-based lube, an emergency personal alarm keychain, a nightcap, drink spiking prevention scrunchie, panty liners, and a Plan C information card, as well as stickers, and a description card of all the items in the tote bag. All of these were passed through a budget earlier this year, with the exception of the Plan C information card and panty liners, which our commission already had and were acquired for free. We had lots of good feedback from those who came out to our table, thanking us for helping to destigmatize both sexual health and safety on campus. Because we ran out of the Safer Sacks so fast, we were also able to clear out almost all of our leftover inventory, so we're completely out of personal safety alarms and the nightcaps, and everything except lube and dental dams, because somehow we ended up with way more than we ordered of those. But students were really, really excited about the event, and I think we all had a great time talking to students about safety on campus and sexual health resources. And that's it, my report.
Thank you.
So it's been pretty slow week for me. I kind of came back from Whirlwind in a week. I was living my best life in South Carolina, and then the schoolwork was not living its best life. So yeah, that's just really what's going for it. But currently, I sent out some emails to Mr. Damon Scott, who's a VP of the Ebony Bobcat Network, and I'll be working on furthering this connection this week. Hopefully, I can get a response from him, but I will follow up because people are busy and sometimes they forget, especially with emails, if somebody they have not met for the first time. And I'm just hoping to lay the groundwork for increasing Black alumni relations on campus. That is enough of my time.
All right, so student organizations that I met with this week. Yesterday, I met with 3 of them. So we have the Inclusion Project. I met with the president to discuss their accessibility expansion projects and ideas for further collaboration with the Student Senate. They would like to present to the Senate in the fall semester. College of Earth and Sciences student ambassadors. We met to discuss their current activities and recruitment efforts, especially after, excuse me, them not having as many activities through the pandemic and decreasing in their involvement. Political Science Majors Association, I met with the president to discuss their work's concerns on no new hires coming to the political science department, especially after losing 7 professors and those professors teaching courses that were in high demand. So I helped the organization form an action plan to advocate for more new hires to administration. Graduate Senate, the new executive board for the Graduate Senate has been elected and announced. You can check that out on their Instagram page. Wellness Days, the survey for collecting student sentiments on the creation of Wellness Days, a Wellness Days policy is still open. Please encourage students to fill it out. It was included in the past couple of newsletters. Finals Fest, we have completed our catering orders and supplies have arrived. PR Director Sarver and I are currently working on the PR materials to pass out during our tabling sessions next week. The Squirrel Stress Balls are now being paid, or have been paid for by an outside company donation because of their advantage on price and shipping times. So the Student Senate no longer has to purchase the squirrels. And they are on their way. The CPS One Stop. So Senator Handel has completed the Campus Counseling One Stop resource, and it has been approved by CPS, and we'll have that ready to be distributed and printed out very soon. I met with, from the AAC, Dr. Distel, the head of academic coaching, to discuss our upcoming tabling promotions for academic coaching. And we also discussed the idea of creating student success sections, which would be engaging AAC and Senate partnership events funded by the Senate with academic coaching provided from the AAC. Dean candidate forums coming up. The candidate forums have finished for the Russ College of Engineering. 4 candidate forums for the new Dean of Arts and Sciences are announced for 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. on April 10th, 12th, 18th, 20th in Bentley Hall, 233. And then curriculum council notes, there was a data analytics major added to the University College. There will be a new real estate certificate added for the University College, and there are no new program phase-out notices. And Senator Thomas is continuing to meet with constituents on a weekly basis in her office in Patton College. And that is the end of my report.
Thank you.
Hi, so I first would like to congratulate Senator Morris on the new position. He deserves it, and I know he will do great things, and it's a great start to the situation on campus. Our Culture for Fashion show was this past Sunday. We had a good turnout with amazing food. It was all gone at the end of it, so that was good. There were some issues that started, but in the end, connecting with students and seeing that they had a good time really made us happy, and that's all we asked for because this was made for the students. We plan to do a feedback form to see if this could be a potential event in the future, so hopefully we'll get that back soon. I am participating in an online diversity audit with housing and residence life. Sometimes it's not okay. To provide feedback on ways we can see advocates, so I'm looking forward to that. Lastly, we plan to support the accessibility walk on April 23rd as a commission. We encourage others to participate because it is supporting a great cause. I will send the link in the Slack chat if anyone is interested.
Oh.
Yeah. It's okay.
So President Plank has been very busy with returning student reflection, and they're going to be busy with freshman reflection, so it's been a little hard with communicating with them, which is understandable, but I'm planning to have a meeting on Monday with my commission. We're hopefully going to discuss RA training and communication between facilities and housing in the residence hall, so that hopefully there's some discussion that can go into next semester.
So Commissioner Aljay sent me his report. He says that the SAC biweekly funding deadline is April 7th at 5 p.m. and that the SAC biweekly funding meeting will be on April 9th. And that is the end of his report.
All right. Senate committee report.
Just that staff having is not, that's not correct.
It's not. I was going to report it in my report. I'm sorry. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
I have 2 reports. So the first one is short, the second one is long. I apologize, y'all. For the Bobcat Medal Committee, I will be finalizing details about the Bobcat Medal tomorrow during my office hours, so be on the lookout for the nomination form very soon. We will likely be voting on the budget for the plaque next week, and the legislation for the recipient will be passed at our last meeting or will be presented at our last meeting on the 26th. So be on the lookout for an email with those nominations. I'm planning to send it to both the body and also include it in the Senate newsletter that goes out to the wider student body. I would love to get as many nominations for impactful people on the university campus as we possibly can. All right, for the Leadership Development Committee, I have a very long report. So as you all are aware, we did finally get to take our DC networking and advocacy trip on March 25th through March 29th. We came in under budget, although Treasurer Robinson will be reporting on those exact numbers in their entirety. I wanted to be open with you all in acknowledging that Treasurer Robinson and President Shoulders were unable to go on the trip, unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances. However, after having been on the trip, I believe 10 people would have been too much anyways. As it was, 8 was also difficult to coordinate and to communicate with representatives effectively, although I will be leaving more specific recommendations for the future Vice President in my transition report. Regarding the trip, we had the pleasure of meeting with staffers from the offices of Congressman David Joyce of Ohio's 14th District, Congressman Jason Crow of Colorado's 6th District, Congressman Troy Ballison of Ohio's 12th District, which is the one that Athens campus is inside of, and Senator J.D. Vance. We also had the privilege of meeting directly with Congressman Bill Johnson of Ohio's 6th District. The issues we advocated for included increased funding to Ohio colleges, especially in regard to physical and mental health services. We also talked about the importance of menstrual equity and the eradication of the luxury tax on menstrual products nationwide, increasing the amount of hours and off-campus jobs available to international students, safety on campus in regards to gun violence, sexual assault, and hazing, and also food insecurity within the Appalachian region. We also had the opportunity to meet with Vice President Emeritus Abby Burke and President Emeritus Maddie Sloat. We talked a lot about the importance of internships, the power of networking while you're in your undergraduate program, and what it was like to transition from Athens to Washington, D.C., and also what it was like to actually work in D.C. And then we also met with the Van Scoyoc Associates team, the university's advocacy consulting team, to discuss the varying forms lobbying can take, ways they navigate the unpredictable nature of DC politics, and how they make sure that they can work with the representative's office in ways that best help their clients. Overall, the trip was an incredible leadership development opportunity for the members who went, and I was very happy with the conduct of our members and the passion for students at Ohio University that they all showed. And with that, that is the end of my report.
Any other Senate committee reports? University committee report?
So for the chapter standing committee, me and the Interfraternity Council Vice President, this committee told us that we were going to start meeting in January, and we've been trying to get them to meet ever since, and they finally responded to us and said that they will try to schedule a meeting in the next few weeks. So nothing like really too promising, but recently IFC passed they had passed a vote so that Kappa Sigma can start to colonize as a chapter on campus, and we're hoping to get these people to meet before school's over this semester, so that way they can start that process.
Thank you. Laurel?
Sorry, I had a Senate committee report.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking there was another report.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, Laurel.
But I'm going to announce the senior honors recipients and their members and our entire recipients. So for senior honors, the recipients were Linda Lett, Dana Shoulders, Emily Seiler, Regina Keeley, Emily McCarty, Samar Kalkat, and Owen Lewis.
I don't have any because both of my meetings were moved, so I'll have another report next week or the week after that. All right, President's report. So, hi everyone. As we enter the final stretch of the academic year, I want to take a moment to inspire and encourage all of you to finish strong. It's been a challenging year for all of us, but I am proud of the work that we have done together as a team, and we have navigated many challenges, conducted successful events, and advocated for the needs of our student body. As your president, I encourage you to reflect on your time in Senate and the impact that you have made on our campus. Remember the goals that we set at the beginning of your time here and the progress that we have all made to achieving those goals. Take pride in the events that we have organized, in the initiatives that we have supported this year, and our collective efforts to make a positive impact on our fellow students. And to quickly quote myself from an amazing article that was recently posted, the fact that we represent people and we work with high levels of officials and we talk to university leadership, which is a privilege, and we should be understanding of that privilege, However, we are all still students. So we are the same students that everyone else is. So we're just technically a microcosm of campus. And I wanted to say that to remind us all to be kind to each other as we continue to learn, to be leaders, and to grow through this opportunity to be a part of Senate. So as I prepare to transition out of this role, so many emotions, I want to ensure the body that I am committed to ensuring a smooth and successful transition with our next president, regardless of who that person is. I will work closely with my successor to provide guidance and support, share relevant information, and ensure that the work of the Senate continues uninterrupted. This time last year, I was so surprised by winning this position, and I was immensely overwhelmed by the responsibility of becoming president. But in my help and in the work with my team, I realized that this was something that was possible for me. So I want to give the same opportunity to the next person to continue the legacy of Senate. So in conclusion, I am honored to serve as your president and soon to be a Mayor Ty, and I'm confident that Student Senate will continue to thrive under the next leadership, whoever that is. And I want to thank you all before our next team is announced next Friday, that I want to thank you all for an unforgettable experience. So thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully you all have had some time this afternoon to take some steps back and get some rest after a very hectic week or two for many of us. Regarding that, I wanted to provide some historical perspectives into Student Senate. The Judicial Panel was originally created as a branch of Student Senate approximately 10 years ago. Before that, all matters under the jurisdiction of the Judicial Panel were handled internally through committees, such as the Committee on the Rules and Procedures and a Committee on Elections. However, this close connection led to many conflicts of interest and much turmoil within the body. Thus, it was separated into a different branch in order to better facilitate these necessary processes. This is the reason why JP functions independently, but still receives oversight from the graduate assistant and Senate advisors. Secondly, you all have heard about the controversies that Senate found itself in last year. There was a controversy the year before that, and the year before that too. We have since created a body that has encouraged new people to join, it has encouraged previous members to rejoin, and it has encouraged overall a campus that is more dedicated to advocacy for students. I would like you all to look at the person on your left. Now look at the person on your right. Chances are this is their first year in Senate. Please continue to work together and create a welcoming environment that encourages you all to continue to be a part of Senate. I know a lot has been said over the last few weeks, and I just want to remind everyone that the reason that you're all here. When you all were elected or interviewed, you had a hope to change or influence campus in some positive way. You wanted to leave your mark. If you are here in these seats, remember that this is more than a resume booster or a networking opportunity. What we do touches people's lives and affects them for at least 4 years of their lives, if not longer. We have created a lot of change this past year, and I know that you all can continue to create change in the future as well as I transition out of this role. I really hope that this change continues into next year. And I also hope that you all choose to remain to be within these seats, that you choose to be the advocates that I know you all are, and that you never let the passion that you have for your fellow students die. And with that, I reserve the end of my report. That is the end of my report.
Before I begin, I want to apologize to everyone over here who can't see me. I'm right here. So hello, everybody. It's been a long semester, but we have almost made it. We are almost there. I think, like 17 days left, and we're done. So to my seniors, I'm sorry for that reminder, but be prepared. I do want to shed light on everything that has been currently in the media, not only surrounding Senate, myself, but also events that took place last semester. I want to make it clear to the Senate body and our student body that I respect the thoughts and opinions of everyone that feels a way about what took place. At the time of the incident, those that know, not only we directly report to as a Senate leadership team, but additionally members of the judicial panel, our graduate advisor, and the advisors directly of Student Senate were notified immediately of what happened. During the overall examination that we did as a leadership team, as well as with members of the judicial panel, we discovered that outside of all the processes I personally went through being held accountable for my actions, we internally do not have anything that was a concern of conduct that holds Senate members accountable. This is an issue not only for our Senate body, but additionally student organizations across the university that do not have governing rules or advisors that directly hold them accountable. We are lucky to have the level of advising that we do within Senate, but that is far and in between compared to other student organizations on campus. This situation, while it wasn't ideal, it was something that was not only a learning experience for me, but our leadership team as well. And through it all, I have sworn by my duties within Student Senate and upheld all of my responsibilities as treasurer, as that is exactly what I was appointed to do. So at the end of the day, no matter what was happening outside of Student Senate, that was something that I was going to uphold. I really do appreciate everyone's concerns of the inner workings of our Senate body, but also the students who have expressed opinions on Student Senate and myself recently. Now, while the year has been long, but yet so short at the same time, I'm proud of everything the Senate has been able to accomplish. I'm honored to serve before this body and also help advocate as much as I can along the way. Now, what I have next is a lot of technical things, so bear with me because my report is still long. So for student organizations, if you have not re-registered your organization within the Campus Involvement Center, your account is currently frozen in Bobcat Connect. It's not necessarily a bad thing. However, in order to access like organization forms, apply for funding, or even like register events in the next month, your organization has to be registered. So please re-register as soon as possible. Any organization that is currently going through a process of transitioning executive board, just because I know we're at the end of the semester, you can put in your current officers until the new ones are selected, and then just update it once you have the names and everybody that's going to be the new officers. If anybody has any questions at all, there is staff available in the CIC. Josh, I don't know if you want to raise your hand. Send them to Josh. I mean, I hate to put it on his plate, but Josh is amazing. So definitely consult them and Mac Oliker as well. But also reach out to me and I'll help as best as I can. Additionally, for reference, the semesterly funding deadline is April 14th at 5:00 p.m. While we also have a biweekly funding due this Friday at 5, which is why it's very pertinent for student organizations to get on that, especially when it comes to accessing the semesterly funding form. So even if you're not directly like on the executive board of an organization or whatever it may be, please spread the word because that's very important. There will be a Bobcat Connect email going out, but spread the word. Word of mouth is always amazing. As far as semesterly funding, if any organization needs assistance with semesterly funding, please do not hesitate to reach out to any member of SAC, our SAC GA and the CIC, our SAC advisor, who's also Josh. Love you, Josh. And also remember it's due Friday, April 14th at 5 p.m. on the dot, not 5:01, 5 p.m. on the dot. Unfortunately, anything that's submitted after that will not be able to be reviewed by SAC. All right, DC spending. So I'm gonna go in detail, bear with me. If anybody needs me to repeat anything for any reason, please let me know. I'm gonna first start with our expected expenses. For our hotels, we had an expected expense of $7,240. For hotel parking, we had $212.40. For an 8 or 12 passenger van rental from OU, we had $390. For mileage, we had $885, gas, $900, food, $2,400, and for a Smart Trip 3-day pass, we had $120. That was a total expected expenses of $12,147.40. Our actual of what was actually spent is our hotels came down to $5,283.55. For hotel parking, it was only $72. For transportation, we had $540. For mileage, $842.50. For gas, $213.56. Food, $1,442.23. And for the 3-day pass, $60. So our actual spent was $8,453.86. So we came in under budget, $3,693.54. which I love that because that means we spent less. For the budget application, if you were trying to submit a budget request anytime recently, you were probably unable to do so because our account was frozen. Our account is not frozen anymore, so everything should be in the clear to work. If there are any additional issues with that, please let me know. A reminder for budgets. If you're looking to do events coming up towards the end of the month, I would not only act fast, but also just remember the time that you're working with as far as submitting it, when budget committee has to review it, when it has to be voted by the body, you know, keep all those logistics in mind. So we don't get down to the last minute and we're just purchasing things just out of the blue. So yes, if you need help with that, also please let me know and reach out to a budget committee. I have discretionary expenses. I swear I'm almost done. For the Minority Affairs Culture Fair Fashion Show, we weren't originally aware if they had tablecloths for the event, so I went to Walmart and bought 12 tablecloths. This was like day of, went to Walmart and bought tablecloths, 12 tablecloths at $1 each, $12 total for tablecloths. However, they had tablecloths, so the tablecloths are not going unused. They will be used for Finals Fest, so they're getting utilized. This is not directly for my discretionary, but it was a purchase I made at the same time that I purchased the tablecloths. That was for light bulbs for students defending students. It'll just come out of their allocation, and it was a 12-pack for $19.97. For Environmental Affairs Commission, there is going to be a purchase for TV advertisement for the Athens Farmers Market. That'll be in the amount of $10. For the Women's Affairs Commission, for raffle basket materials, we purchased materials from Kindred Market for $119.79. Ooh, all right. The numbers, we're gonna go into the numbers and then I'm gonna be done. Now these numbers, all the expenses, well, some of the expenses from the DC trip and recent purchases for the Bobcat Festival and Finals Fest, they won't be posted to this account number yet. So this won't directly reflect the recharges, but it'll reflect the most recent ones. For our Senate total, we have $27,406.94. Allocated not spent, $1,320.89. Not allocated nor spent, $26,086.05. For our SAC total, we have $133,939.34. For our spot, we have $133,919.34. And for our youth fund, we have that same $20. And with that, these numbers are true and accurate to the best of my knowledge. And with that, that is finally the end of my report.
It's that last $20
It's gonna be gone soon, I swear.
Hi, everybody. So I'm gonna save all the thank yous and stuff for our last meeting. But please remember to clock your office hours, keep the office clean. If you gave a report of any kind, send that to me by midnight tonight, or I will have to hunt you down, and I don't know how to do that. Thank you so much for passing the changes to my chapter of the RMP tonight. That just makes sure it's more clear for the next person who comes after me. So thank you for that. Also, I'm sure that Graduate Assistant Padilla will also talk about this, but applications for my position as well as PR Director and position have been extended to April 9th. So if you have any questions about my position anytime in the next 4 days, please come and ask me. I don't want anybody going into this position blind or not knowing what to expect. So please, 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 if you are interested in applying for my position, or even if you think you might be interested in applying, please, please, please come and talk to me. And with that, our wonderful historian Maggie has an announcement to make.
Hello. I spoke about this before spring break, but I just want to remind you guys that the email has been sent out with a Google Forms link, just to have a little synopsis of who you are and what you've done in your time in Senate. Even if you haven't been with Senate super long, I know we have some new members that came on tonight. Please feel free. It's for everyone who's involved in this school year. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
And just as a reminder, that link is in your emails. So it came from the Senate email. If you can't find it, search for it. But with that, that is the entire report.
Hi everyone. Thank you everyone for coming to the town hall. It was awesome. As always, reach out about flyers being posted. Let me know if you need the logo. And then a little shameless plug. My sorority is hosting at Mr. University. It's a male identifying pageant that's going to be raising money for the Ronald McDonald House of Central Ohio. amazing charity. It's going to be on Thursday, April 13th, starting at 7 p.m. in shoe number 145. And Reese is a participant. If you would like to attend, please reach out to either me or Reese. It's $5 prior to the event to get a ticket inside, and then 7 to 8 at the door. No one wants to pay that money, so pay the $5 beforehand. The person who raises the most money wins Mr. Popularity, and then another person will win like the judge's favorite Miss University. So please come out and support. That'd be awesome. And then with that, let's get my report.
The election announcement will be this Friday at 7 p.m. in Baker 240 and 242. If you have any RMP changes you want to have made for this year, please have them in by next Friday to allow time for a review and edits to be made. And if you want to set up a time to meet with Emily, reach out to her and let her know. And that's the end of her report.
Hi, everybody. Really odd to sit way in the back here. It's good to see everybody tonight. Good luck tomorrow night. So they take that tonight. I hope that goes very well. The election season in the past week or two have been difficult all around. Not only with some things that have come out, as we mentioned in the debate the other night, but also related to the hiccup that we had related to technology. So I know that's been a stressor on a lot of people, particularly those running for office. I would encourage you to handle this with grace, regardless of the outcome for you or your party, and be kind and be respectful of the process which we try to navigate and the outcome of the election as well. Along that same line, I would encourage you to take time for yourself and do something that is helpful to you, and may give you a little break from the stressors that you have in your life. And so maybe that looks like a social media diet, right? Reducing your time on social media, with the exception of the Senate Instagram account or any Senate-related item. But it can be a good way that you can control the information that you receive. And I also want to mention that we all need something to look forward to. And so in the next 3.5 weeks will be the end of classes, and then we'll have finals. So hopefully there's something out there that you can look forward to. For some that might be graduation, for others that might be just break and a return home. The thing that I am looking forward to the most in the next few weeks is the arrival of stressed squirrels. That's going to be super great. And so I wish you all luck. I know that we'll see each other next week, but take care of yourselves. And honest to goodness, if we can help in any way, if you want to stop by the office and chat, if you have concerns about something that is not Senate related, please reach out to myself or Kathy or Nate, Josh, or Lynn back here. We're all happy to help and want to be helpful to you as we move forward. The other thing I'll mention briefly is I was able to be in a space about a few days ago, and I was able to talk about the concerns that you had mentioned related to town hall and convey that to other people. And so I want to let you know that we are also a voice for you, and we hope to amplify the things that are concerning to you and help you make progress along the way too. Okay. With that, can't wait for those stressful. Thank you.
Hi everyone, Chief of Staff Pennington took like my only point, which was that the application for her position, PR Director, and fellow commissioners is extended until this upcoming Sunday, April 9th at 5 p.m. So if you have any interest or know other people who are interested, please encourage them to apply. So then me and the officers that do get announced this Friday can get those interviews scheduled and ready to go. Other than that, I know a lot of people mentioned it tonight. A lot has happened in the past couple of weeks. I just want to remind you all to be kind to yourselves and to other people. We're all going through a lot of stress. And if you need anyone to talk to, whether it's me or a professional, I'm more than happy to help you get connected with CPS. So don't be afraid. You can come reach out to me. I don't know. I have an open door policy. Oh, and also, I don't know if I mentioned it to the whole body, but I am staying now until the end of the semester, so you'll be having me until the end of the year. So all that goodbye I said like 2-3 weeks ago, don't worry about it, it wasn't true. But other than that, I hope you all have a fantastic night and a fantastic weekend, and that is the end of my report.
Before we adjourn, everyone say happy birthday to Kaden.
Happy birthday!
All right, are there any objections to adjournment? Seeing none, meeting is adjourned. International Street Fair is Saturday.
You get the invoice?
Working on it. That's, I'm waiting on the vendor.